around our country, and that's very unfortunate. And history is being erased. You can rename a school. You can rename a Confederate statue. I guess you could do it, but it's still going to be the Confederate. It's going to be Robert E. Lee. Some people will always remember that school as Jackson School or whatever. And after somebody from the Confederate, it might take a little time. You change the signage, but for some, it'll always remain. It's offensive for people because of what some of the times stood for. But those times are gone, folks. We live in another America, a new America. Always striving for a more perfect union. And this is something that we should all strive together and not play the color game. I'm tired. I am tired of the color game that's being played. I grew up in New York City, and I am colorblind. I have always been that way. You can't. I don't think you can live in New York City and not be. Seriously, grow up, and I just can't see it. But I have always been colorblind. And I know some people say, well, that's good for you, but I wish that more people like you, I wish whatever races out there would have that ability to be able to not even have to think about it. I go with what Martin Luther King said, that judge not for the color of the skin, but the character of the person. And it should be all about the character of the person, how they act, how they treat you, what they do, the kind things, spoken and unspoken, those particular things. Finding out who they really are, it gets down to the heart of the matter. By the way, a lot of people are criticizing Ellen DeGeneres because Jesus, or Jesus Campos, was describing being shot and how it stung on the 32nd floor after calling for a maintenance worker on the night of October 1st, but he didn't say what time that was. And DeGeneres didn't ask what time it was. At first, I took cover, he says. I felt a burning sensation. I went off. I lifted my pant leg up, and I saw the blood, Campos said. That's when I called it in on my radio that shots had been fired, when he realized that he had actually been shot. Say, Ellen DeGeneres fails to get key questions answered in Las Vegas guard interview. The Mandalay Bay security guard who was shot and wounded during the Las Vegas massacre returned to the national spotlight yesterday for an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, but the talk show host failed to pin him down on the consistent changing of the timeline of the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. Again, I don't know how much money that ABC paid for this, for Ellen DeGeneres. Personally, I don't get my news from Ellen DeGeneres, but you would think that producers may have been able to hold her down. But do you look at Ellen DeGeneres as being a serious correspondent, a journalist? She's a talk show, daytime talk show host, not an investigative reporter. Don't be too critical on Ellen. And I don't even watch her. I know who she is. I've watched a few programs several years ago. It's just, I'm not a big fan of it. Even daytime TV, it's just not my thing. And if it's your thing, I'm not putting you down. But there's still so many unknown questions about this timeline. And even really to how this psychopath, Stephen Paddock, mowed down as many people as he did and hurt and injured so many different people. The motive, we may never know. One thing we do know, folks, is that he had hatred in his heart. And there's hatred in people's hearts, that same hatred that caused Stephen Paddock to open fire on innocent civilians. As a matter of fact, his countrymen. That same hatred exists in tens of thousands of Americans' hearts even today. You say, I'm not a Stephen Paddock, but you know what? If you harbor hate and animosity in your heart, that's evil. I tell people, man, seek out a church. Get prayed for. Get some holy water dumped on you. Dunk in it. Bathe in it. Get baptized. If you're scared about it, reach out. If you feel like you're capable, susceptible to some of that, reach out. I know a lot of this stuff is mental health, but a lot of it's a heart issue. I'm convinced of it. Billy Graham used to say that our heart is like a vacuum. And the only thing that can fill it, the only thing is God himself. I'm convinced that more people need some good religion, some old-time religion, which is good stuff. Good Holy Ghost smackdown to set people right. A little talk with Jesus makes it right, that old gospel song. I'm convinced of it. Seriously, everybody needs it. Jesus was about peace, folks. You're a different religion. I don't mean any disrespect, but the fact of the matter is we need more peace in our world. Goodwill towards men and women. It's just my takeaway today. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you so much tuning in. If you like the show, if it resonates with you, join with us as For the People continues broadcasting coast to coast every single day. Listener supported. Our coffee mug, the mug's on sale right now, $20, $3 shipping and handling at forthepeopleshow.com. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do that. We appreciate you so much joining in today. Thank the station for carrying it. Remember where you're listening today. Keith Allen, For the People, saying all the best. May God bless.